We've got the best deal to keep you safe online. For a limited time, get 70% off a 3-year plan at nordvpn.com/TYT. This special offer makes your subscription just $3.49 per month so you can browse and shop securely on all your devices. And for a short time, use the code TYT to get an extra month off of Nord for free.
As we know, the Trump administration has announced that the G7 summit in June of next year will be held in one of Donald Trump's properties, the Doral Golf Resort in Miami, Florida. And this has led to a reaction from the right wing that we don't often see. Some of the hosts on Fox actually have spoken out against Trump on this. And Judge Napolitano, who to be fair, has been consistent in condemning Trump when he's wrong, spoke out about this as well. Take a look.
They are arguing that this is not a violation of the Emoluments Clause where someone is profiting off of something. I believe Judge Andrew Napolitano has a different notion of that. What do you think?
Well, Neil, it's not my notion, it's the Constitution's notion. When the Constitution does not address profits, it addresses any present, as in a gift, any emolument, as in cash, of any kind, whatever, I'm quoting the Emoluments Clause, from any king, prince, or foreign state. The purpose of the Emoluments Clause is to keep the President of the United States of America from profiting off of foreign money. Here we go again, not in the campaign, but in some event or entity that he controls or is running. He has bought himself an enormous headache now with the choice of this. This is about as direct and profound a violation of the Emoluments Clause as one could create.
So he is indisputably correct there. He read you the text of the Constitution. There's no doubt about it. But he went on to make a really good point about it doesn't have to be profit, because Mulvaney said, well, no, it's okay because we're not going to profit off of it. One, there's no confirmation of that at all, okay? Number two, even if it were true, even revenue matters. And Napolitano talked about how Trump not only owns the property, but he also gets money for managing the property. So he can actually make more money from the management fees than he could from whether he turns a profit as an owner of Trump Doral. So he can make money in two different ways. And even if he made no money at all from either one of those, which is pretty much inconceivable because no question it helps in management. Even having a bottom line or top line in this case of revenue that is greater helps the valuation of the company and of the property. So it indisputably helps them. Even if you were to be crazy enough to believe that Donald Trump, when he says, oh no, I'm not gonna turn a profit on it.
Yeah, exactly. So Mark, before we go to Neil Cavuto, do you wanna chime in?
No, the only thing I would say is it was just, it was refreshing to hear it stated so explicitly there on Fox News Channel, where you just don't expect to hear that kind of thing.
Exactly, and I started off with Napolitano because you can expect him to be fair on these issues. I don't agree with him ideologically, like we're not similar. I'm obviously progressive and he's not, but when it comes to these legal matters, he has been fair and I do respect that. Now, when it comes to Neil Cavuto, that's not necessarily the case. But in this case, let's hear what he has to say about Doral.
All of this comes at a time when a lot of people are saying appearances count for a lot, and given the fact that the president has made a central focus of late, what the vice president, the former vice president, Joe Biden knew and when he knew it, and the business ties of his son Hunter, on just the appearance level alone, the president of the United States rewarding his family-run business and perhaps one of its premier moneymakers, the Doral Club Resort, to host this big event. The spillover effect from that, even at cost, is very good for whatever event locale you choose.
So look, they're having to admit things because there's just no way around it.
Yeah.
And in fact, look, we're gonna give you one more clip from another Fox News host. Cavuto's, he's very conservative. You watch the Young Turks all these years. Cavuto drives me crazy. But on Trump, from time to time, he has dipped his toe into sanity. And said like, oh, that doesn't make any,
just a little bit.
And he's like, that doesn't make any sense, okay? And so even Sean Hannity on this Mulvaney situation. Now you got Doral, right? But Mulvaney also said, yeah, we did quid pro quo. We just flat out admitted something that is deeply illegal. And Hannity said, what is Mulvaney even talking about? I just think he's dumb. I really do. I don't even think he knows what he's talking about. That's my take on it. and he went on to call him stupid and I believe also idiotic.
Hannity said that?
Hannity. Okay, so now what's happening there is that's the Trump team throwing their chief of staff under the bus.
As the White House turns.
Yeah.
So there's no end to it. There's no end to their stupidity and their law breaking and their unconstitutional behavior. So every night they got to sacrifice someone to the gods. So they're like, okay. And just earlier today was Rick Perry. They're trying to blame Ukraine on him. Now they're like, oh, also Mulvaney. So it was Sessions and Tillerson and Flynn and Perry and Mulvaney and Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon and Anthony Scaramucci. And by the way, I've only done like a quarter of them.
That was impressive.
Right.
That was impressive. You listed people I forgot about.
Yeah.
And it was all those people surrounding Donald Trump,
all of them,
but not Donald Trump. Come on, who believes that? Even Fox News doesn't believe that, which leads us to the next clip.
All right, so this next clip features Chris Stirewalt. He is the news editor at Fox News. Take a look.
The idea that this administration, dealing with what this administration is dealing with, right? A lot. You've got the unraveling in Syria. You've got the march to impeachment here at home, breaking news stories every day. The world is on fire. Why? It is beyond my imagination why this administration thought that, number one, to do it at all, given the criticism that the president will receive for using one of his own properties for an event like this, that's not necessary in the first place. That's an unnecessary problem to create for himself. But then the next step today, to do it now and do it in this way is just, I wish I could think of a good reason for it.
Well, the reason is that priority one is making money for Donald Trump. That is the biggest priority. And from the first hours of this administration, they were concerned with making money. When it came to setting up the inauguration, they were looking at different ways they could siphon off money into the Trump organization. Look back at the very first germinations of this administration, and it's all about money. So when he says, why at this time when the world's on fire? Because that's always what he's thinking about. How can I loot the taxpayers for money?
That's exactly right.
In fact, I'm sorry, Mark, you're gonna lead me to make two more predictions. Okay, so I think that Trump will come out at some point and say, why shouldn't I make money off of being president? What, am I stupid? Like, because he doesn't get it. One, ironically, it is because he's stupid that he admits all these crimes. And two, it's because of what we've been talking about all day, which is there's no accountability. So since the Republicans are backing him no matter what, Lindsey Graham tried to send around a letter to the Republican senators saying, sight unseen, we will vote no on impeachment. We don't care what the evidence is. That's amazing. So when you have a get out of jail free card on everything, you break the law nonstop. So I think he'll actually say it. He doesn't, he's like Mulvaney and everybody else, as dumb as Mulvaney is, must have told him, Mr. President, really? Like at your own property? And we're gonna force the foreign leaders, right? And he's like, yes, why not? Why not? Of course, it's the best, it's a perfect property, right? So I think he'll actually say it in public himself. And so it doesn't matter, man. The guy's a guilty soul. Look, we had a Canadian person watching a tweet earlier today going, do you guys have any laws in America? And now this is rubbing our face in it. All of the different people in this country that have to abide by the rules and the laws. And Trump brazenly violating every part of the Constitution, every legal norm we have, and going, so what, I'm an elite, I'm part of the elite. And so I'm above the law. So I think he's gonna say it. And Mulvaney, tick, 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 tick.
That's the most obvious. You don't even get credit for that.
Yeah, Mulvaney's.
So I'm taking it away right now, preemptively.
All right, then I'll put an over/under on it. He's now this is super aggressive.
By the end of the month, that's my.
Okay, no, you know me. I like to be too aggressive. 2 days. 2 days.
Wow. 2 days. Okay.
Okay. No, Mulvaney's got to go. He admitted 2 different crimes, and so look. See, here's the thing.
You want to make it bad?
No, okay,
I don't.
Fine. But look, I'm often wrong about the timing. Caveat. Okay?
I know, and I need to make some more money.
But Mulvaney's a goner, but look, guys, he's killed off too many of his political allies, and they know too much about him. So when he throws Mulvaney under a bus, it is one too many times, right? So imagine he throws Mulvaney under a bus, which is not hard to imagine. That's definitely going to happen. At some point, one of these guys, maybe it's Mulvaney, maybe it's someone else, and then Mulvaney joins in later, are going to go, oh, screw this. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you what Trump did.
No, it's already happening, Cenk. It's already happening. People are already playing ball with the impeachment investigation, even though the State Department has advised them, do not respond to these subpoenas, do not testify. You had Fiona Hill, she testified. You have Gordon Sondland, who testified today, and we have some of his opening statement to share with you later. But I mean, people are already turning on him. And in regard to Donald Trump, the prediction that you made about Donald Trump just coming out and saying it out in the open, just admitting things out in the open. I agree with you, I think that'll eventually happen, but it did remind me of the one thing that typically leads to the downfall of all criminals. And you've said this on the show before throughout TYT's history. What is it? When they get too what? Greedy.
Yes,
right?
yes.
When they get too confident, when they get too greedy, and Donald Trump, because he's gotten away with so much throughout his entire life, not just during this presidency, his entire life, at some point, he's gonna go too far. And it's not gonna be his actions that convince the GOP to act. It's gonna be his actions that convince his actual base to act. Because you see the numbers changing as well. The amount of Americans who support not just the impeachment investigation, but the removal of Donald Trump is increasing. It's now the majority of Americans, Republicans included. So
look, another thing I said on the show is, if you start impeachment proceedings, he will unravel. And we were dying for Pelosi to start impeachment proceedings. She begins, immediately he unravels. Of course, which leads me to the poll question. This one is at tyt.com/theend. So, will Trump make it to the end of his term? Okay, so this is my original prediction from day one that he would not make it to the end. We've had a lot of conversations. Anna and I have had several bets over it. It's finally your time to weigh in. Okay, so with the Emoluments Clause violation with the Doral, with them admitting quid pro quo today, with all these people turning on him, will he make it to the end of his term? tyt.com/theend.
So you listed some of the strong evidence that backs you up, but I have to list just one piece of evidence that backs me up. Remember, yesterday we talked about how Nancy Pelosi refuses to hold a formal impeachment vote. And not to impeach Donald Trump, it's just a vote to start the impeachment formally, right? And she refused to do it. So her weakness could be a problem, but I will admit that your case is looking stronger and stronger.
Yeah, he's just, we have a bungle off, right?
Bungle off is a good way
yeah,
to put it.
So Pelosi, her epic weakness is leading to Trump still being in office. So is there anything the Democratic leadership couldn't bungle away? And where then Trump comes and goes, hold my beer. I'm gonna out-bungle you guys. Even though you're the weakest, most pathetic party that's ever been seen in this country's history. And I already beat you guys. I beat your anointed leader. All Democratic Party leadership got together and said, we don't really want a primary, we're gonna anoint Hillary Clinton, which was the worst possible candidate you could have, and I beat her. So he won the original bungle off, or I guess the Democrats did, by losing to him. And he's like, no, I can't stand it. Okay, I'm gonna beat you guys this time. I'm gonna bungle this harder than you. And ironically, he's gonna prove Nancy Pelosi right. He's gonna do a self-impeachment. And in fact, today somebody I saw on social media made a decent point. They're like, he never wanted to be president in the first place, and he didn't think he was gonna win. He was just trying to make money off of it. And so, maybe subconsciously, he can't take the pressure anymore. And he's just like, what do I need to admit for you to throw me out of here?
Oh, wow, that could be. I don't know, I think he's also, just to represent the other side for a second, remember he's being told that, you can't be guilty of any crime as president. He sort of has this sense that he can get away with all the stuff he's used to getting away with in ways that he never thought he could get away with them. And so I think I see objectively how he should be taking on water, but I don't know that he is taking stock of all the water that indeed he's taking on in his presidency. He's been successful in just firing people, trying to change the narrative, sort of rebranding whatever needs to be rebranded. So I'm not so sure that he's going to run from the Oval Office in any kind of desperate way anytime soon. But again,
you never know.
Yeah, and the
in
tick, tick, tick
times.
is one of my favorites. So
yeah, well, so you get to tell us whether you think it's tick, 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 tick. So looking forward to hearing what you guys think.